Fela Anikulapo's father was a reverend, but Fela was an African traditionalist. Fela Anikulapo Kútì's father was a reverend of the Anglican church, but Fela Anikulapo Kuti was a traditionalist. Fela Anikulapo's father was a school principal and also a reverend of the Anglican church, but Fela did not follow the way of his father. What I'm driving at in this video today is that we have a lot of pastors in Nigeria and some other places, and then they have children that are following their footsteps to become pastors, to become church leaders. And then we have people criticizing them. We have people talking about them, but they forget also that we have a lot of pastors whose children are not following their footsteps or not following their way, so to say. What should such people do, or what should they say? Such people most times are not even in the public domain, but the few that are in the public domain will come out to criticize them. I've said it over on this channel that what actually do people want? They want the pastor's son not to be a pastor, and if he's a pastor, it should be a run-of-the-mill pastor. You should be a back seat pastor. You should be a pastor that if they select 10, is going to be number 10, not number 1. They want a pastor's son who is not following the pattern of his father, who is not interested. If that is what we want, we have a series of them. And the example I'm giving you is one of them. Fela's father was a reverend father, but he was not. He totally went away from his father's faith. What made him to do that is unknown, but that is exactly what he did. Nobody could trace his father's reverendship or his father's pastoral work to him, and that is what people actually want. And funniest thing, the society is not talking about it. The society is okay with it. It's like, how will I put it now? The child did not follow his father's tenets. He has his own ideology, and people are okay. They don't talk about it. They talk about his music. They talk about his wives, even married 27 wives in a day. Talk about that. Talk about so many other things. But they don't talk about him not following the will of his father. It is not even in any major news. But we have pastors whose children are following God. They love God like their father loved God, or even more than their father. And people come around to talk about them, to criticize them, to say all sorts of things about them. And of recent is the case of Bishop David Oyedepo. Some bishops or pastors in Winners Chapel, they retire because there's a pattern, because there's a structure. So based on the restructure, the retirement age is arrived at, and then they step aside. The one that brought up arguments and brought up real talk in town was that which happened about 6 weeks or 4 weeks ago, and that's referring to Bishop David Abioye and Bishop Thomas Aremu. These two bishops did not complain. You know, that's a sad thing. They were not complaining. They were thankful. They had a proper sent forth for them. They had a proper retirement service for them, well attended, and these people testified that they started with this bishop, and they are happy. The bishop, the founder of Living Faith himself, testified and said he enjoyed working with them. There was no problem. But because it's a regulation, because it's a rule that has been documented that at so age these pastors should leave, they had to leave. And good enough, Bishop David Abiwe has started his own ministry and ministering and preaching and continuing with the fire. People came around again and said he has started his own business. What exactly do people want? Do they want him to start criticizing Bishop David Oyedepo? Do they want Bishop Oyedepo to start criticizing him? Do they want Bishop Thomas Ayemo to start criticizing Oyedepo? God forbid. You see, God forbid. Let like also beget like. Let good beget good, as we have in this particular case of Oyedepo, of Abioye, of Thomas Aremu, and of the children of Oyedepo and of the children of these other pastors. Let like beget like. Let good beget good, and let bad beget good. Don't let good to beget bad. Don't let good to become bad. And my prayer is that our children will not be wayward. Our children will be better than us in everything that we do. God bless you. This is the 10 Minutes with God channel, where we talk about the Word of God and prayer. I will see you in the next one. This video popping up by the side is the next you need to watch now. See you in that video.